right, guys, here we are again. We're going to do another reaction to Joe Rogan. He goes off on after J.D. Vance and Trump sort of exposed Kier Starmer, the Britain's, I don't even what they call the guy, the British leader. He basically sucked up to the UK's prime minister, the one that got their asses handed to him here in the United States, the one that we keep funding, and I think it's ridiculous. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get into it. And like I said, always drop a question or two down below, and we'll have a conversation. I'm gonna try to get the whole lives going, but I can't figure that out yet. So, and again, I'm just trying to keep this unedited. I might not be the best of speakers and all that stuff, but you know what? I am here trying to do my best to get the word out as much as possible and give you my take on how to, what I think. And I want your opinions too. So question me down below.
And, you know, he's a very nice guy, but nobody's done anything. And I've been watching this go on for years.
Most concerningly, I look to our very dear friends, the United Kingdom, where the backslide away from conscience rights has placed the basic liberties of religious Britons in particular in the crosshairs. A little over 2 years ago, the British government charged Adam Smith Connor, a 51-year-old physiotherapist and an Army veteran, with the heinous crime of standing 50 meters from an abortion clinic and silently praying for...
Well, that's what's happening in England right now, isn't it?
It
in
100% is. It 100% is.
That's really happening?
Yes, it's really happening. You can't give people that much control. You can't.
I agree. I mean, you can't give too much people control because, man, you'll have chaos. And I love Joe Rogan, man. He is awesome. And I'm already sure you guys are already linked up to Joe Rogan.
Give people that much control over what offends them or what offends people, what you could say, what you can't say.
In the UK, free speech is starting to feel more like a crime than a right.
That's right. The UK sucks when it comes to free speech. All right. You people in America, where I'm at, we got it easy. Easy. Because of this guy, right? This guy here.
One story that caught a lot of attention recently was about a veteran who was arrested just for praying in public. Yes, you heard that right. Praying in public.
Praying in public. You guys hear that? That could come to America.
Public. This wasn't some protest or act of violence, but an expression of faith in a public space. The arrest made waves because it highlights something many have been talking about. The UK is tightening the grip on personal freedoms, especially when it comes to speech and expression.
Come at the end of every episode, they'd be waiting outside of your...
Yeah, here's the thing, man. This is a new thing. This wasn't England 10 years ago, all right? This is a new thing. And it's a scary thing. It's a really scary thing. They arrested thousands of people for social media posts. Thousands.
JD.
That's exactly right. Even Americans, they want to arrest Americans for free speech. That ain't going to happen, though.
Vance, the US politician and author,
because we got Donald Trump,
wasted no time calling this out. He pointed to this incident as a perfect example of how the UK is slipping into authoritarianism. According to Vance, the arrest wasn't just about a man praying, it was about a system that's becoming increasingly intolerant of any form of dissent or free expression. It's a move that feels all too familiar, he argues, where governments put rules in place that stifle personal freedoms under the guise of protecting society. And in the UK...
That's right, guys. Everything's for safety. Safety. You're going to do all this crap so you feel safer, but it's not really safer. It's putting laws and rules on you. To be a free society, you got to get out of your safe spaces.
This seems to be happening more and more.
speech. And I tell you, you're talking about JD's speech, right?
Yes, sir.
I heard his speech, and he talked about freedom of speech, and I think it's true in Europe. It's losing. They're losing their wonderful right of freedom of speech. I see it. I mean, I thought he made a very good speech, actually, a very brilliant speech.
It was good.
Europe has
Now, Joe Rogan, who's always been a big advocate for free speech, didn't stay silent either. He took to his platform to say what many were thinking: how did we get to the point where someone is arrested for simply voicing their beliefs? Rogan has been outspoken about the decline of free speech in the UK, especially with the growing number of people being arrested or punished for things they've said online. What he sees is a worrying trend, one where people are too afraid to speak their minds because
that is exactly what they want. They want you afraid. I am no longer afraid, and you should not be either. And that's what's happening is America and across the world is waking up. Waking up to what's going on. This is ridiculous. Stay focused, guys.
the law could come down hard on them.
His government is that it's actually an offer to work
They want you to be afraid of the government.
together to not just fix a problem, but to restore what has always been true about the special relationship of the United States and the UK. And that is, first and foremost, we're going to recognize individuals as sovereign, and especially when it comes to their right to worship, particularly their...
Rogan doesn't just talk about it from the sidelines, though. He's vouching for the UK to protect the very freedoms that are supposed to define a democracy. The reality, as he sees it, is that freedom of speech is under attack in many parts of the world, especially in the UK, where citizens can be fined or jailed for comments made on social media or even in public spaces. It's a growing issue that both Rogan and Vance warn could spread beyond the UK if not addressed. This isn't just about one story, it's a larger conversation about how governments are slowly chipping away at personal freedoms. And with figures like Rogan and Vance,
if you're looking to sell your car, Carvana will give you a real offer in seconds. You will be paid right when they pick up your car.
calling attention to it, the pressure is on for the UK to take a serious look at where it's headed. Free speech isn't just a political issue, it's about the ability to be heard without fear of punishment.
Just terrible government overreach. You're seeing it now in England where people are getting arrested for tweets.
Yeah.
Well, England, you know, people talk about Soviet Russia, like how bad Russia is in terms of cracking down on thought police and cracking down on bad tweets and things like that. I think the statistics are, I think England in the I think there's something like 4,000 people have been arrested in England for thought crimes. Where
4,000 for thought crimes? That's tyranny, man. That's tyranny. Come on, guys. It's time to wake up, or this world will be taken over. And what's going on now is Trump's taking it back, and he's fighting against the globalists. And some of you whine asses are out there trying to help the globalist. Some of you are not just Democrats. You're right wingers or whatever you want to call you. So-called, I don't even know what you want to call you, but there's a lot of people out there that want to frickin' see this world be a lot better place, and that's what we are. I ain't no Democrat. I ain't no Republican. I just love this damn country, and I want people like you to get out there and start loving this country too. So if you change your thoughts, we all change our thoughts the way we think, we can change the world.
where they've said things online that
Starts today.
people find to be a hateful thing or
Kier Starmer, the leader of the UK Labour Party, has come under heavy criticism from JD Vance for how he's handling immigration.
Comes over here sucking ass to Donald Trump. come over here, excuse my language, sucking his butt to Donald Trump, and that pisses me off. Then he kisses ass to that Ukraine. That's terrible.
Vance argues that Starmer's policies are putting both the nation's security and its resources at serious risk. At the heart of Vance's critique is his belief that Starmer's approach allows immigrants to enter the UK without proper vetting. The concern here is clear. Without adequate background checks, how can the UK ensure that those entering the country aren't a threat to its citizens or institutions?
Hey, what do you guys think? That Kier Starmer guy from Ukraine, you think he's a piece of crap? You think he's a globalist? Just put down in the chat down there if he's a globalist, if you think he's a globalist or not. Or not. Just put not.
Now, I wish I could say that this was a fluke, a one-off crazy example of a badly written law being enacted against a single person. But no, this last October, just a few months ago, the Scottish government began distributing letters to citizens whose houses lay within so-called safe access zones, warning them that even private prayer within their own homes may amount to breaking the law.
Private prayer breaking the law.
Access zones, warning them that even private prayer within their own homes may amount to breaking the law.
Man, I have a problem with that because I still got people like you out there. Oh, Elon Musk is going to try to take my social security number. Are you stupid?
Naturally,
you have no idea what's going on. You've been sitting on your ass doing nothing for this country or the world or whatever. And you want to sit back, oh, he's taking your social security number. Well, all you do is go to work and slave all day. That's what you are, as a slave. I'm a slave. You got to try to break free from the slavery this country's got you on. You want to sit there and try to tell me how this... You have your opinion, but you ain't going to tell me my opinion. I can tell you that.
the government urged readers to report any fellow citizen suspected guilty of thought crime. In Britain and across Europe, free speech, I fear, is in retreat.
Vance's concerns aren't just about security, though. He points to the practical issues that arise when immigrants are granted benefits without being fully identified. The UK's social services, stretched thin as it is, end up being burdened by individuals who may not even be legally documented. Vance argues that when the system allows unidentified people to access healthcare, welfare, and housing, it weakens the system for everyone. The strain on public resources becomes unsustainable, and over time, this kind of policy could fracture the very safety nets that the UK prides itself on providing to its own citizens. What makes Vance's critique especially pointed is his accusation that Starmer is too focused on political correctness, neglecting the realities of what unchecked immigration can do to a country. According to Vance, there's an overwhelming tendency to prioritize compassion over the practical need for vetting and control. While empathy for refugees and immigrants is important, Vance suggests that the balance has tipped too far in favor of idealism at the expense of practicality. In his eyes, the Labour leaders...
It has nothing to do with that, I don't think. Not my opinion. This guy's a piece of shit. Trump knows it. Trump said it in his own meeting with the guy, saying that the EU was all set up to hurt the United States. And I 100% agree with Donald Trump. 100%. I don't think the EU's ever been on... Well, I can't say it's never been on the Trump side, but it's all going to change.
Stance is blind to the challenges these policies create for UK society.
We cannot rebuild Western civilization. We cannot rebuild the United States of America or Europe by letting millions and millions of unvetted illegal migrants come into our country. It has to stop. Thank God it stopped here, but it's got to stop there.
Joe Rogan shares many of Vance's concerns. While he may not...
For all you people that follow Joe Rogan, man, I don't think he was right-leaning back in the day. I mean, just in my opinion, what I know recently of him, I think he was more left-leaning, and I think that's what's going on. And you know, a lot of left-leaning people are seeing it. You know what I mean? I've been saying in all my other videos. If you look down in the screen in my previous videos, their left is waking up. And huge numbers. The Great Awakening is here.
To always engage in the specifics of UK politics, Rogan has been very vocal about the dangers of overly lax immigration policies. He's drawn parallels between the UK's approach and America's own struggles with border security. Rogan argues that when countries fail to properly vet those entering their borders, it poses not only a strain on social systems, but a serious risk to national security. Just like Vance, Rogan believes there's a pressing need for transparency and accountability in the immigration process.
Why is Amazon paying me $63,000 a month? Well, I didn't make this kind of money selling
threats. People threaten people online, which totally makes sense. So
Yeah.
you shouldn't be allowed to threaten people online. But when you get past that,
I agree.
if you have an opinion about something, something that's affecting the country that you live in, I think you should be able to express yourself. And I don't necessarily think that people should know that it's you. I don't think you should have to carry that around. Like you should be able to express yourself and not have to be.
For both Vance and Rogan, it's clear. A country that fails to secure its borders and manage immigration effectively is putting itself in danger both socially and economically. The issue of free speech and immigration in the UK has caught the attention of some of the biggest figures in the US, and they're not holding back. Joe Rogan, Elon Musk, and even Donald Trump are raising alarms about the UK's growing authoritarianism, which they believe is suffocating freedom and undermining the principles that the UK, and by extension, Western societies, are supposed to stand for.
That's exactly what's going on. They were trying to extradite Americans online for hate speech. Unbelievable. They can kiss my ass.
Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, has been outspoken in his criticism of the UK's approach to free speech. Musk, a staunch defender of free expression, has been calling out the UK government for limiting the ability of citizens to speak their minds without fear of retribution. He argues that heavy-handed censorship policies are not only harmful to democracy, but they also set a dangerous precedent for other countries to follow. Musk, leveraging his massive social media presence, has been using Twitter to draw attention to these issues, emphasizing that free speech is a fundamental right that must be protected regardless of the political or social climate.
Do you have any reaction, Prime Minister, to a post by Elon Musk this morning suggesting that America should liberate Britain from a tyrannical government?
In relation to that, I don't really have any comments on the particular comment that was made this morning by
Joe Rogan, known for his popular podcast,
Just that EU guy's a piece of garbage,
has echoed similar sentiments. Rogan, a firm believer in the right to free speech, has often criticized the UK for how it handles controversial issues, especially when it comes to censorship. He's pointed out how individuals are getting arrested or fined for sharing their opinions online, whether it's political views or simple expressions of faith. For Rogan, this
all for safety. Yeah, they don't want you praying in your house. It's all for safety for the next person that's don't like it.
This is a clear sign that the UK is heading down a dangerous path. He regularly highlights the importance of public discourse in a healthy society, and the UK's growing crackdown on free expression doesn't sit well with him. Rogan sees these actions as a direct attack on the principles of democracy, warning that if this continues, it could have a ripple effect on other countries as well.
And acting as the bridge he wants to, or he could be humiliated and Trump could be really mean to him and he could come home with his tail between his legs. So the scale of achievement is potentially massive. It is a critical week for Kier Starmer and his premiership.
Do you know, I'd love to be a fly on the wall and to watch Starmer as he waits to go into the Oval Office.
That's exactly right, guys. I would like to be there too. I would like to be there too.
And acting as the...
And I'm going to go back to this little bit here.
Direct attack on the principle.
And he could come home with his tail between his legs. So the scale of achievement is potentially massive. It is a critical week for Kier Starmer and his premiership.
Do you know, I'd love to be...
That's what he did. He came back with his tail between his legs because Donald Trump ate him for dinner, just like he does to any other leaders. And you guys, oh, I don't like the way he talks. Well, no crap. No crap. I do. Because he's the toughest president we've ever had. You know why? He's the only one that's not on their team. Most, if not almost all, back to JFK has been on the same side. Don't you understand that? If that's the case, they've been playing you like they've been playing me. They play the freaking fake news media so they can play you. So you can, they got people on the internet that plays you too. Oh, he's taking your social security number. They already got it. If they want your money in your bank, they already got it. They got all your information. You give it away every day. So you don't have no leg to stand on. It's time for you to wake up. This is why I bring this channel, is because I want to wake everybody up. I keep thinking it's America, but it's more than that. It's YouTube and goes around globally. That's all I'm saying. All right, guys. With that being said, I'm just a United States veteran, 49 years old. Love this country, and that's why I'm out here doing YouTube channels. I love you, and I love this country, the United States. And I want people around the world to come to the United States. I love this country, and I want you to love this country and start waking up. Like I say, it starts today. Change your mind. You change the way you think. You can change the world. I'm 100% on that. You can change the world. So, guys, with that being said, hey, thanks a lot, and we'll see you in the next episode. I appreciate it, and like and subscribe. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.